All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Osor, and we're reviewing the fourth episode of House of the Dragon.
Hey guys,
Hey, Otis, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I liked the new episode actually. I liked it better than the previous one. I think this might be the best one for me yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
for me it's been continuing the trend. So
yeah,
again, I think though I think I'll know how I feel about this episode after our discussion because it hasn't been that long ago that I've seen it, so I'm still
yeah,
processing. But initial thought indeed better than the previous one, which is basically what I've been saying since episode two.
yeah. Um, I only had a few problems, like two minor problems, which we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the overarching theme in this episode was, for me, it was duty. And
Ah,
yeah, you
yeah,
had
no,
another idea?
for me it's how shit life can be for women. And that's something that I'm not really the appropriate person to talk to. But that was for me really the overarching
Yes,
theme
of
of this
course. Well,
episode.
it seems the overarching theme for the whole
Yes, for the
series.
whole series, but here it was really, to me, also the theme of the episode, really.
Yeah,
Besides the whole, politicking piece,
yeah,
but as a theme, that for me that really stood out.
yeah. I was kind of worried when Damon came in with his crown, but he was a good boy, a good younger brother. And I
Who
like to,
managed to piss off his brother yet again.
yeah, after one day, he only managed one day in the capital. It's like he want, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to
He's
be,
just yeah, but I think he's just a self-destructive person.
yeah,
He's his own biggest enemy and he keeps sabotaging himself.
yeah,
It's like he expects things to go wrong, and because of that expectation, he makes things go wrong.
yeah.
Though I've called it on episode one, I do think he has a thing for his niece, and I do think that's
Yes,
still the case.
yeah. Why would you think that?
I
Uh,
could have been playing him.
yeah, I don't think Damon is the one who plays in your. I think he's honest.
Mm.
I think he's honest to who he is, but yeah, he doesn't really think things through. I really didn't. I had a lot of problems with that scene. Perhaps we should go to it because I think it's the most memorable scene of
Is
the.
it? I don't know. I liked the child in the opening.
Wait, the child in the opening?
Well, it starts with the potential husbands, and we have this old
Ah,
dude who
yes,
keeps on
yes,
talking,
yes.
and then we've
Yeah,
got the child
true.
from
Yeah,
the Blackwood family, and
yeah,
he gets insulted by that other guy. So,
yeah. That was a cool callback actually,
mm,
because the Blackwood family are a very old family from the first man, and the Bracken family, who the other guy was from,
hmm
they live right next to each other, and they have like a feud for centuries going on. So
okay,
that's because normally you wouldn't be able to just call someone a cunt, uh, like a knight, a lordling, a cunt. So yeah, I guess he got what was coming to him.
a
Uh,
question for you: do you know who the guy was who was sitting right next to Rhaenyra? Because I
um,
have no idea who that guy was. He's some kind of advisor to her in that one scene.
yeah.
But we
Isn't
don't see him for the rest of the
hmm?
episode, and I don't remember seeing him before.
Doesn't
So
he?
is that then? Is it the intention that he's the lord of the castle where they're going, or what?
That's a possibility. Wait, let me actually check. Just a second. No, no idea. I guess he's the lord of the house. Although, yeah, although it is strange that she's sitting in the royal seat of the house. Uh,
But she's the heir to the throne.
yeah, I'm not sure what the custom is, but Anyway, he's some guy. Okay,
He's some
let's
guy.
not dwell on this. Yeah, that was a cool scene, and maybe we'll see the boy again. Probably not though. Um,
I have
maybe
no
in
idea. It's like the children who are actually played by children also get the script piece where they're clearly reciting something that was scripted to them.
yeah,
That's
uh,
something that's clear that the intention is the adult told you to say this. For him,
yeah,
the whole speech about his house and a few episodes back, the
yeah.
whole discussion how their bloodline with the king would be so much better.
I thought it was fairly genuine actually. Maybe I read it wrong.
Oh,
Uh,
I know for me it felt a bit like it was the idea again that the parent of the child had them rehearse a line.
yeah, probably. Well, probably.
What are
Um,
the first men?
so the first men are the first men who inhabited Westeros. Then
Okay.
the Andals came across from the Narrow Sea,
Mm-hmm.
and what I told you before, they burned down all the weirwood, which
Mm-hmm.
was another point out. They are gonna stick with this weirwood, you know, the tree with the red leaves. They're
Yes,
putting it
yes.
front and center. I don't
It
like it.
has at least one face in it.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a
Is that
weirwood.
normal?
Yeah, the werewoods,
Okay.
the old, they used to carve faces in them, and
Okay. Yeah, then it's definitely a werewood because there were faces in there.
yeah, yeah,
And
it's
so
definitely a
normally by
werewolf.
this timeline they shouldn't be here anymore.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't
Okay.
be in the south anymore. That's what the Andals did. They cut down all the werewoods, and they had iron, while the first men had bronze, and that's why they won pretty much everything, except they didn't really penetrate the north. Um, that's why the werewoods are still in the north. And then
And
you also
could
have the Roinar, which they mention in the titles, is actually another invasion from across the Narrow Sea
hmm
that pretty much took over Dorne, which is the southernmost part of
okay.
Westeros.
And is it couldn't it be that some king decided to plant a werewood tree
It could
in
be,
King's
but
Landing later on?
yeah, I mean, it might be just I don't mind it too much in and of itself,
hmm
but it's like a sign to me that they're not staying true to the.
There might be an explanation later on.
I think they would have explained. I think they just
Because
like the aesthetic.
mm,
I don't know. Maybe there will be an explanation. They
yeah,
do.
because most of my confusion and questions so far and things I didn't like have been addressed, so
Yeah,
they might have a longer term plan. I don't.
could be. Could.
The odd language was also fixed in this episode.
What do you mean the odd language?
There were way less annoying Martinisms that took you out of the
Ah,
story.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
The ones they use here really fit perfectly into the
it
dialogue.
would be
So
typical of George to like look at one episode and then say, "No, this is wrong. This is wrong. You have to change this," and then never look at it again. So maybe the third episode was a victim of something like that. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
really don't. It's a different additional writer this time compared to last time. So maybe
yeah,
that's also the difference. Someone else
could
punched it up.
could be.
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah. Well, at least yes, this episode was back on track with the first two, in my opinion. The third episode was kind of strange still to me.
All right,
Um,
but you said to get to the heart of the matter before I distracted you,
hmm?
you wanted to immediately get into the big scene.
The Rhaenyra Daemon scene, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of points here, like, are you really doing this in public? I get you are drunk, but why do you take off
because he's
her?
self-destructive.
Yeah, well, okay, Daemon is self-destructive, I get it. But Rhaenyra,
Rhaenyra, well, she was drunk.
they should
She
have played
was
it
with
more.
someone. She was with someone who, so far, she has always shown to trust with her
It's
life.
true.
She's young,
Hmm.
she's headstrong, and she's tired of being the good little princess with all of the typical expectations put on a
Yeah.
woman in fantasy medieval times.
At that point, I was maybe considering whether Damon, and actually the whole episode, whether Damon is actually in league with someone else just to like ruin Rhaenyra's reputation, uh, because it seemed so stupid. All of that. Like, well, no, I couldn't understand Damon. Like, he adores his brother. He should know that this is not good for
But
what
he's
his.
self-destructive and he always, always, always messes things up when they're good for him.
Yeah,
It's kind of established by now.
yeah. Well, j- uh,
It can be a character frustration, but
yeah,
it's in character what he's done.
yes,
You know,
of
we
course.
can both agree it's a dumb, dumb, dumb idea. But it does make
Especially,
sense that Damon did this.
especially after they just saw a play where it was
Yeah,
clear that the small folk would prefer a guy on the throne than a girl.
yeah. They
So,
have terrible PR, this royal family.
yeah. Well, yeah, other than that, not much to say about just that. I mean,
I, I mean,
I,
the lead up makes sense.
I mean,
So
it
it's
it was a good scene. I liked it. It made the episode.
yeah,
Um,
well, yeah, but they did a very good build up to this moment, and
hmm
then they did a very good initial aftermath after the moment. It's a key point in the episode,
hmm
but I feel that they did enough establishing beforehand within
Yeah.
this episode itself
Oh, definitely.
so that that scene makes sense and
hmm
also the consequences make sense. And I think
Yeah.
like one of the reasons when Damon is dragged in front of his brother and his brother kicks him and acts all angry, I think one of the reasons he doesn't really say anything beyond he's kind of hoping that Rhaenyra will become his wife is also because he knows no matter what he says, he won't be believed. As the king later on mentions against Rhaenyra, perception is everything,
Yeah.
which I did think was a very well acted piece there.
Yeah. Well, the scene after it where she kind of. What do you feel was the dynamic between her and Sir Kristen? Do you think
Kristen,
Sir Kristen was falling for her before that, or
yes, yes, I think we had in a previous episode, which timeline-wise takes place about a year before this one.
does it?
Yes, because when Damon and Rhaenyra have their chat initially, when Damon has returned, giving his crown to his brother and then the stepstones, at that point they have a discussion and they talk about the last time they saw each other, which was at Dragonstone,
hmm
and that's 2 episodes ago.
Yeah,
And it's been 4 years they mention here, so it's been
true.
4 years since then. We know that between episode 2 and 3, 3 years have passed.
Yeah.
So this means between the previous episode and this one, an additional year has passed. So Allison is 18, and I believe Rhaenyra is also 18.
Let's hope Rhaenyra is also 18. Yes. Um, but it doesn't really make sense to me because that means that Damon would have hung out at the Stepstones for a year, which seems strange. Strange. As he enters the castle, he's like, "Oh, I just won the Stepstones for you. Just
Yeah,
declared me king."
yeah,
But
but just killing it might take time to get rid of all the now leaderless army
I
members,
guess, yeah,
all
I
of the
guess,
criminal elements that come from that.
yeah, that's
That
true.
might be it. We also don't know the travel time. We don't know how long the discussions with the Valyrians took.
Yeah,
So it might be. Because we also know previous episode, Alicent was pregnant and here she had a big baby on her arm, but a big one, so at least a few months old.
yeah. I didn't take note. Yeah,
So in general, I think it's about a year, more or less.
yeah. Okay. Well,
So yeah, but I think so. Last episode, a year ago, with the whole Aegon's second birthday thing, I think there with the camp scene and everything, there was a mutual attraction even beforehand
yeah, the camp
at the
scene.
tourney.
I
So they
guess
kind of set something up
I guess my mind erased some of the last episode or something.
with the
Yeah.
whole boar where you had
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, I guess that's why my mind erased it. Yeah, the camp scene, of course. Yeah.
So I think yeah, in general, I won't call it love or anything, but she was drunk, she was hurt, and she kind of digs Sir Cole, and he's always there. And I think from his side, he is attracted to her.
Yeah, but
And also, the reason he's so reluctant is because he's very aware, more than she is at that moment, what this will all mean.
well, no, I think well, of course, but
He's afraid he's going to die. The king will find out, and he'll be dead.
yeah, I think that's not his main reason to of course, maybe you don't know, but when you become part of the King's Guard, you
Mm.
swear an oath of celibacy as well. And they were
Okay.
very focused, like the camera was very focused when he laid down his cloak, his white cloak.
Mm-hmm.
They were so I think they were trying to say, oh, he's
Okay.
debating whether he should forsake his vow for love or so it either has to be love to me or he feels like he has to do it like this is a command, in which case it's kind of like a Me Too situation, uh, which yeah, but
Yeah, but
that's why I think it is yeah
yeah, but he wouldn't be
love.
the first person in the history of humanity to forsake his celibacy vow for lust as well. Eh?
That's true, but Sir Kristen doesn't seem like that kind of guy, does he?
I don't know.
Hmm.
We barely know the guy.
True, but he seems like a very upstanding dude. I think he's a good guy. I think he did it for love.
All right, you be the romantic, I'll be the cynic.
Okay. Another thing about love, like this episode made me kind of go into the direction that Alicent is actually in love with Rhaenyra because she
I think
seemed
at least
w
deeply cares for her.
yeah, she seemed way too upset about the fact that she might have slept with Daemon.
Yeah, but
Uh,
that could also be because she knows exactly what this could mean for the future of her friend. And maybe she's also afraid that the king will now drop her.
yeah, but the king dropped Daemon. This doesn't mean that Daemon did all the things wrong you could do wrong. He's still alive and kicking. I mean, it's not like
Yeah, but Allison is very, very aware of what the king in general thinks of a woman's role.
mm,
And we know that the king has continuously, since Rhaenyra has been named his heir, he's had difficulties with the fact that his heir is a woman, though he sticks to his commitment to keep her his heir.
hmm
That's a bit the conflict of the previous episode, the conflict of the second one. It's the conflict here as well.
yeah,
It's a bit him stepping out of that
yeah,
perspective, but
true,
not for Allison because we clearly see for Allison what life with the king means for her.
yeah, yeah.
It's not exactly
No,
a dream.
not really. Um, this was actually the episode where Viserys was most king-like, or
Yes,
yeah,
at least because we have then after our Daemon and Rhaenyra almost have sex, and then Rhaenyra has sex with Sir Cole. We get to see that our White Worm informant, which is the former whore girlfriend of Daemon, uh, informs
wait,
Hightower of
yes, is that it? Is that how it's?
yes, yeah,
I was
because
wondering.
she
Yeah.
gets money from the little
Ah, didn't she give him money? I thought she gave him money.
uh, no, as far maybe then she paid for services rendered. That's also possible, but I
Yeah.
thought that
It
the money
yeah,
was given to
definitely
her.
there was a connection.
But there was a business transaction there. She was dressed in white, and the kid was the one who informed Hightower, and Hightower said that he got information from the White
Yeah, yeah.
Worm that's mentioned there.
Okay.
So I think, and she said that she's no longer a whore and that she's moving up and that she
Yeah,
has
yeah, yeah.
learned.
True.
So I think she's setting herself up as some kind of an information broker,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
so
kind
she
of
gave the
dismissed her
information.
up until this episode, like as being a real character. But I guess she is a real character, not just
Yeah,
a.
they just yeah, but I mean, for the amount of scenes we've seen her in, we haven't really gotten any good feel for her. She was not in the last episode at all
Hmm.
in the previous one, so we don't really know how to
Yeah.
get. So it's a perfectly valid thing to think that she's not really a real character.
I was thinking that the whole episode was going exactly as Otto would have wanted it. And so that's why I was thinking, like, someone is setting this up. This is not Damon's doing. Maybe he's being forced in a way, but I guess he is just. I mean, it could definitely be
He's
that
just
he's
an idiot.
just an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, indeed, because I'm very happy here that Hightower kind of overplayed his hand,
Yeah.
and we're very lucky that the reason the king gets his first suspicion is just because he doesn't want to believe because he thinks of all the consequences of it being true,
Yeah.
and that's a bit the reason that he finally sees the kind of games that his hand has been playing.
Yeah.
It's also
I have been
remarkable.
wondering why do you think is Viserys is so opposed to the idea of Daemon and Rhaenyra being a thing?
I think, well, there's a few things. He knows that outside of their family, it's a bit too close of a link for the other people. So the others would look down on him. So that's one thing I think. Because I
Well,
get that kind of impression here that he's very conscious of the way people look at things.
that's true.
And also because there's already, among the small folk, not a lot of love for a princess. Maybe that's also something he's considering. And then
Yeah,
also, yeah, it's a bit. I think because because he still thinks his brother
he's a
fucks up all the
liability.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a liability. And he wants better for his daughter,
yeah,
but he doesn't know how to get to that.
yeah,
So he's always that's why also end of last episode he decided she had to look for her own husband.
yeah,
And yeah, clearly she didn't do it in the tempo that he was seeing. That's why he and Allison arranged for this whole meteor potential suitors thing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, well,
But
he made a few good decisions. The Laenor match, is probably the best match
I
for
don't know,
her.
was it that idiot in the previous episode that was standing
Idiot?
there with
I didn't think
the
he was an idiot. You,
the sea snake's son?
yeah,
I mean, there was nobody there who really impressed me except Corlys himself. Everybody else kind of came over as
yeah,
either an
but
idiot on and at the officer's table, or the soldiers were just dead tired.
no, at the office, he was at the officer's table, and well, he's also not. I mean, he's also pretty young, so I
Yeah,
mean,
well, maybe we'll see next. Again, we saw him
yeah,
for maybe a few
he had
seconds.
a really strange accent, though. I
So
remember.
next episode we'll see more,
Yeah,
I guess, because she agreed to marry him, but
yeah,
in trade, she really pointed out to the king what Hightower was doing,
yeah, yeah.
and that kind of connected with his own suspicions from the scene a
Finally,
couple of scenes before. Yeah, so it's
but I'm happy that he did go through with it, and I was happy to see Otto. And I wonder what he's gonna do now. He
mhm.
will probably not just take this,
No,
although
and
he
Otto,
still has his daughter on the throne.
yeah, yeah, and Otto Hightower also knows the king is dying.
But I wouldn't still say he's dying. He's
Did you see all of the dead flesh when he was having sex with Alicent?
Ah, no.
There was more than the two wounds we've already seen. There were multiple. In the bathing scene, she was already cleaning a wound that was a different one from before, and
Yeah,
then we
that's true.
see his back during their sex scene where she's really not enjoying it
Yeah.
because that was to offset Rhaenyra's experience.
Mm-hmm.
And his back and his arms, there were multiple of those kind of scabs.
Yeah.
So I really think the king is going to die one of these episodes.
Yeah, he's
I don't think
definitely.
he's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
last the season. And out of the drama they can get out of it, it won't take that much longer, I believe.
I
We're what,
do.
halfway through?
I do hope he doesn't die before Damon gets back once more and gets kicked out again.
Yes. Uh, I did like Damon's new look a lot more.
Yeah, it fits him better.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I don't have much more here. Only one thing. Um, the freaking dagger. No, don't do it.
I was looking at it, I was like, oh, Zessa's gonna hate this.
Ah, please leave it out. No. They're gonna do something with this. The second time they mentioned it. What? They're gonna do something with it. Uh, they're setting something up, maybe something for future seasons or whatever. But I have a dreaded eight season Game of Thrones feeling when that dagger comes up. So I don't like it. Yeah. Other than that,
Well,
uh,
there's only one real thing of note in the story context, and that's after the king already told her perceptions, everything doesn't matter if you did or didn't.
hmm?
Huh? That he let the what is it, the maester prepare a potion a bit the
Ah,
morning
yes.
after tea.
Yeah.
So it's been a few mornings. I mean, that's a bit the idea here
Uh-huh.
to induce a miscarriage or whatever
Yeah,
you want to
yeah, yeah.
call it. So I do hope Rhaenyra doesn't become the Barn Queen from a mismanaged
I
potion.
had the
That's
Baron
what.
Queen. Yeah.
That's one way that Hightower could still sabotage things.
Ah, yes. Maybe it's not even from the king, but I
Mm.
guess she will ask, so it must be from the king. And yeah, well, to give a bit of backstory about this, it's mentioned a few times in the books as well in the Song of Ice and Fire. This tea, I can't really remember the name, um, but usually it works out. So I think you have a only a small chance that it actually goes wrong with the tea.
Yeah,
Uh,
also like how after having one night of sex, I mean, the odds of you getting pregnant. We know
well,
enough
yeah,
couples who
but
do take a while. I mean, it's always possible, eh?
yeah,
And in
yes,
movies it always happens, but in real life it tends to take a few additional tries.
it can really happen. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
wouldn't
can
take that
really
chance.
happen.
I wouldn't take that chance.
Yeah, as
Uh,
as a heir to the throne, she can't take that
yeah.
chance.
So again, one of the good decisions of the king, even though it's pretty, yeah, it's not that great, but makes me think he might actually die next episode because this episode made him look so good. Uh, so yeah, that's my prediction for next episode. The king dies.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
I do have to say, for a serialized show, I'm very happy that each episode so far has been able to stand on its own.
Hmm.
By which I mean it's a good episode to watch. It's not that you that it's not its own thing. You know that previous
Yeah.
episode didn't have an ending. This one doesn't have a beginning. That kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Each episode is like a chapter. So I do like that a lot.
Yeah. That's well done indeed. Yes.
I do
Uh,
wonder how much time is gonna pass by next episode.
yeah.
They do give us always the clue to figure it
Maybe
out
maybe
so
they
far, so I
open
do
with
like that.
maybe they open with Corlys Valerian going into the room of small council and being like, "No, the stepstones are under attack again, guys." Then it all starts over again. Who knows? Now, so some wild cards. Maybe Corlys Valerian will be placated with the marriage. Will the marriage
Mm,
go through or not? We'll see. Uh, I
mhm.
I think honestly, Rhaenyra seems she might be. Uh,
She made the deal, and
yeah,
so far, when she has committed to her duties, she's seen it through.
yeah, okay.
It's
Well,
just that she hasn't committed often, but this time she made the promise, so we'll see.
yeah,
Because the king got rid of Otto Hightower. I did like the implication that Otto killed our king's father, or at least had him
yeah,
killed.
yeah. 5 days. Yeah.
There
Uh,
was because that the interesting thing came up that he basically taught our king all about ruling,
yeah,
and that kind of explains why he's a bit of a weak king as well.
yeah, yeah.
Because then there's more power to the hand.
Also, when
So
Rhaenyra was talking to the king about what his duty, um, I thought she was implying to make Daemon hand. Um,
I know I read that as you need to get rid of yeah, the
but
snake
why would it be his duty to get rid of Otto? Um, I read it
because
as
Otto is not
yeah,
acting in the interest of the realm, but purely in his own interest at this point.
yeah.
And the idea is that the hand needs to act in the interest
Of
of the realm and
course,
its king, and it's the duty of the king to select a hand that does this.
it's true. I wonder who's gonna be the next hand. Any guesses?
Well, Otto Hightower has a son. No, I really don't know who the king. Maybe the one guy
Yeah,
who gave his advice like twice, and of which I still keep forgetting the name.
maybe
Who
they'll
was
tell his
also
name.
there in the previous episode, giving advice on who Rhaenyra should marry. And he
Or
didn't propose himself or his own family, but he proposed the son of the sea snake. And now the king has decided she should marry the son of the sea snake.
true, true, yes. Might be him. Might be the sea
That's
snake
my
himself.
I don't think so.
No,
Because
I don't
again,
think so, yeah.
the king will need someone he can trust, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Corlys has not acted in good faith with Stepstones,
But
though
can
he
this other
kinda
guy be
was right.
trusted though? This guy who doesn't even
Well,
have a name.
well, he did put forward not his own family members to marry Rhaenyra, but he
Hmm,
he chose a candidate that, in his view, was
yeah,
best for the realm. So we haven't seen any duplicitous behavior from him yet. On the other hand, we've barely seen him. So,
yeah.
but from what we've seen, I think that's a good candidate.
Maybe
But
we'll
they
get
might
his
just
name then.
magic up a new guy.
Oh, I no, I may I don't think so. I think I mean that would be strange to me that they
Mm.
introduce some new character to play hand now. Could be though. Who knows? I don't wouldn't know where he would come from though. Maybe I have maybe a speculation, but I'll keep it for myself for now. Um, yeah, I thought some guy from the Stormlands, maybe like a Baratheon. Uh, they usually have had a history of being hands of the king, or
Hmm.
at least very close to the royal family.
Hmm.
And we haven't really seen any Baratheon yet. Probably there's a Baratheon on the small council, though we just don't know.
Probably the guy we're talking about is a Baratheon.
He didn't really look like a Baratheon, but could be. Yeah, who
Well, there's
knows?
130 years of genetic drift to go through.
Yeah, but that was the whole thing in Game of Thrones that all the Baratheons looked the same.
Okay, but if a tree can be there where no tree should be,
True. Yeah,
hmm. Or maybe he's a bastard Baratheon.
could be. Well, anyway, any other points you want to go over?
For this, no, I have noticed a trend lately, slightly related, but not specifically to this episode.
A trend?
So HBO now has House of the Dragon. Prime has the new Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power thing,
Yeah.
and they also have the Wheel of Time, but apparently that's not that great. And
Hmm.
now Disney Plus is coming out at the end of November
With?
with the sequel to Willow as a TV series. Now, Willow is a fantasy. funny movie with Warwick Davis. So that's now this streaming platform also a fantasy series.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering what Netflix is gonna come out
Ah,
with.
yes. Probably something. Yeah.
Unless we count Sandman as that, but Sandman is more a comic book thing than a fantasy. Well,
Well,
it's fantasy, but it's not medieval
yeah.
fantasy.
Game of Thrones did so well, they all have to try their hand now at replacing it.
Yeah, Game of Thrones was the next book series since Lord of the Rings of
Yeah.
old-timey fantasy that really broke through. Because
Yeah.
there were some attempts in between, but
Yeah.
nothing that really
I heard about Middle
clicked.
Earth, that it was also kind of not that they weren't heavy going heavy on the fantasy. Have you seen it?
Rings of Power, or
Yeah.
no, I haven't seen it yet.
Uh,
It's on my short list to check out, but I haven't had a chance to watch anything
yeah.
in
Yeah.
the last week, except for the latest episode of Lower Decks, but that's only 20 minutes long.
Yeah. Well, so I heard they're also going heavy on the realism aspect.
Well, that's no choice, because Middle Earth is like perfect setting for some more
Yeah,
high
but that's why Game of Thrones did so well because it was the characters were so relatable.
Yeah, and
Uh,
also because it's a bit a post-magic world at the beginning.
hmm.
Because isn't the whole deal that magic's coming back, or at least the
Yes,
dragons are
yes.
coming back, and I'm guessing magic will come back
Well,
as well.
during the whole the whole show, magic is only used by a few people who
Hmm.
can control it. All the rest of the people just have to deal with life as you and me do,
Hmm.
without smartphones and cars and computers.
Well, I
Yes.
kind of hope they make a TV series of the Rift War books. I mentioned them to you recently.
Mm,
Because that's also a bit, it's a very good mix between good old-timey non-magical, and then there are a few magical people around and some magical effects. But a
yeah,
lot of it is actually, even though there are elves and dwarves, they hit each other with axes, they shoot each other with arrows.
yeah,
And there's not often magic, and magic can really turn the tide of something because it's so not there on the main world.
yeah,
I think you'd like it if they made it. It's a bit more adventure where um, what we're now watching is more heavy on the politics,
yeah,
but it's not afraid of the politics either.
yeah. Okay.
So that's a bit my hope that some competent people can make.
Yeah.
But yeah, for this episode, it's better than the previous one, which was better than the previous one, which was better than the previous one.
I think they're
So,
doing well in keeping
hmm
the thing interesting, even though it's still only King's Landing and Targaryens, which I,
and
I
an
mind less and
unknown
less
place.
because the characters are very different in their personality.
Hmm. Yeah, they each have their own little issues to deal with, which is also good.
Yeah, they're well
Yeah.
fleshed out.
So I think we get to the end of the discussion. So ratings.
Ratings. I have been thinking maybe we should actually go into the decimals because I'm gonna rate the whole season a 7 otherwise. No, just because we are not doing decimals and I'm in my head rounding up, then I'm gonna
We
give
can do
this one.
halves, eh? We can do halves, eh? You don't need to go 7.1, but you can go 7.5,
Okay,
eh?
are halves allowed now? Okay, then
Oh
we'll.
yeah. I mean, we can. I always said at the end of the series we'll probably re-rate everything, because even now I'm kind of re-rating previous episodes already. So
Yeah. Okay, I'm going with 7.5 then. I'm not yet willing to give it an 8, although I was thinking about doing so.
well, I'm
Um,
almost there. I would also say 7.5. Not an 8, but we're getting there. But I still wouldn't give this episode an 8.
hmm,
But it was good. It was well acted. It was well shot.
yeah, I had
Yeah.
only like the werewolves, which I already accepted, and the dagger, which I haven't accepted yet, but I'll have to accept soon. Um, Other than that, it was great.
Mhm.
I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, yeah, and I do hope the main team is something I can talk to because the main team of today, I'm not living that life, so I really don't have anything to say about it.
Yeah, of course, but that's it's also the interesting part, because um, as much as they have dragons and as much as they have werewolves and what crap people, uh, most of how the royal families used to do things is set in a certain realism. So
Mm.
it is interesting from that point of view. Yeah,
Alrighty, so guys, like and subscribe.
comment, guys, please. We got a new comment on the last episode, by the way, Otis. It was
Oh,
another bot, but you know, you have to start somewhere. Okay?
the bots think we're popular enough.
Yeah, maybe the bots think we are rich or something, and we want to promote our. But we're still going for the organic way, guys. So please help us out. Like, subscribe, do all those things. Tell your friends, um, and watch together with us. And then maybe at the end of the season we will have some comments. Who knows? Maybe we can do like an interactive thing at some point. So yeah, I really do hope we can do that at some point. In any case, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Take care, you guys. Bye.